It's another beautiful day in the Federation of St. Christopher Nevis. It's the 10th day of November, and downtown Boston is a bit cloudy, cool weather. It's not as hot as a few days ago, so we enjoyed another beautiful day in paradise. My name is Socrates, and you're logged on to another episode of Voices on WINNFM 98.9. I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to the various folks in the various time zones around the world. We got up in New York, Rosemary Donald, also in Atlanta, Jennifer Richards. These are folks who are friends with the Federation, normally making their contributions to the program as we go along. Mr. Alfonso Bridges, how are you doing, sir? Valentine Monish. Chris Collins up there in Sheffield, of course. I get commentary as we go along. Today we don't have any guests in the studio, so it's an open mic Friday. It's a fantastic Friday for most. It's payday, and we know downtown on the weekend, especially Friday, how things look. At this point, we're going to pause for a few kind words from our sponsors, and when we get back, we will continue. Well, open up the mics for today's session of Voices.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust to secure your investment. You need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us. TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind. You're always safe with us.
Feel the magic happening.
Campari.
Taste.
Something incredible happens when Campari is mixed just right. Like Campari and orange juice poured over ice. Taste it. Try it tonight. Bitter, sweeter, better. Campari. Must be 18 years and older. Drink responsibly.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow! Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Once again, good morning and welcome back to the program. As we speak, I can see Jamster preparing an umbrella to head out. What's going on up there? Is it raining? Is it raining right now? Oh, you used this morning and you were okay. Now I understand because I just came off the street and there was no rain at all. We just, a little morning shower this morning. Yeah, okay, cool. So you have your umbrella. You're Englishman. You're prepared. Okay. I want to dub today's session as Good News Friday. So I want folks to, when the calling, have something positive to report. I want to start with the item that's nothing new in terms of how we roll here in SKN. But it's a bit of good news for folks who are importing items. And it reads, St. Kitts, here comes Chris Collins. All right, I'm gonna give you an update on the 10 shortly. Okay, Rosemary's still in Baltimore. She's tuned in. That's beautiful. And here we go. St. Kitts and Nevis announces import allowance effective November 15th. Today's the 10th. So 5 days hence, St. Kitts and Nevis, as has become the norm over the past decade, is rolling out a series of generous import allowances effective November 15, 2023. These allowances promises to make shopping and gifting a breeze with a focus on support non-commercial importers and travelers. That should be in focus of supporting non-commercial importers and travelers. That means if you go overseas to shop, maybe St. Martin, wherever it is, in Miami, when you return, you're a non-commercial traveler and importer. For these looking to bring in foodstuff as gifts, the first £400 will be completely duty and tax-free. This initiative is set to encourage the exchange of delectable treats amongst friends and family, fostering a spirit of sharing and camaraderie. Non-commercial importers are also in for a treat with a substantial duty-free allowance of EC $675. The equivalent US would be $250 US of the COF value. This means that travelers and non-commercial importers can bring in a range of goods without incurring additional costs, providing a boost to local economies and encouraging cross-border commerce. It's worth noting that these duty-free allowances will be applicable to goods landing in the Federation between November 15th, 2023 and January 31st, 2024. This limited time offer provides an extra incentive for residents and visitors to take advantage of these exciting import allowances. Don't miss out on this fantastic opportunity to enjoy duty-free shopping and gifting in St. Kitts and Nevis. Mark your calendar for November 15th. I know back in the day we used to have the food barrels that would come in and there were incentives given. So this, as it indicates, has been going on for over the past decade. We are happy that this continues because many families around this time of year look forward for those subsistences sent by family members from overseas. So now it's official. I recall back in the day when the customs warehouse was down by where the Pelican Mall is, and I went there to receive a package sent from family overseas. It was a huge box. Wow. And I had I was short a quarter, 25 cents. And that was mainly for the paperwork. So I'm happy to see that this program still continues where the average Joe in the street can benefit from that, because sometimes when these initiatives are offered to the general populace, some of the merchants take that opportunity to jack up the prices. So, we're happy for that. So Good News Friday, I started the ball rolling. What I would like for the members of the public who have any positive news to share, let's make this happen today on WINNFM. Logged on to voices. So let's hear your voices. Now let me go back to what Chris Collins was alluding to. Where can I find Chris? Yes. Let's see what Chris is saying now. Oh, he's asking about the tents. Well, Legends hosted their first tent last Sunday at Spratnet, and the other of the Proud Sounds they will be launching this coming Sunday at the same location. So to date, up until Sunday, today we've had one. Normally Legends will be the first on the road. It was not, I would say, our best effort. And as a result, the band is off the road now to, do some tidying up. But we'll be back. I have a confirmed location and date, which I won't mention at this time. But we're going to have 2 tents to be launched next week. We hosted for the first time a junior Calypsonian, 12-year-old. She goes by the name of Lady Faith. And she sang a song based on something that Carl Brown has been pushing for years about serving more stew mutton. The song is entitled Cannibals. And if I can get a bit of the chorus. She said there are vendors calling on the street, telling others how this meat's so sweet. But just remember, anytime you do, just remember when you eat tree mutton, remember every time you do. You're eating your cousin. You're eating your uncle. You're eating your auntie. Why would you want to eat your family? And I must tell you, I was in a forum some weeks ago where the various corporations were discussing a program that was derailed because of the weather, which dumped some heavy rain in the area that, on the Agua Strip, there was an event planned for that weekend, and Hurricane Tammy came and dumped a ton of rain in the area, so that didn't happen. But there were plans to have high in the menu tree mutton. It's one of the things that Carl Brown has been advocating for, and there are people who still take a little umbrage with that, but it is what it is. So this young lady, whose mother was in the tent also, Lady Karens, and Lady Karens did a number called, she did 2 songs, one entitled The Increase, and the catchphrase in the chorus was, labor ministers can't survive on the labor unless they raise up their salary. Yet we asked to survive on 365 in the same economy. So tell them when they're raising the salary, they must do the same thing for you and me. But then I heard the salary increase is just to decrease their temptation to bribery. Chris, he asks above the tents. I'm just giving you some of the highlights. And then her second song was called Man to Cheap. I don't know if she had any interactions with you, Chris Collins, but she's generalizing that man to cheap, right? She asks her boyfriend to take her by boozies. Next thing, he ended up by Uncle T's. And she said, okay, let's give sweet cane a try. Next thing, he ended up by Ready Fry. He took her to Meals on Wheels for breakfast. Then asked her for some cash to buy gas. So now she's paying the transportation for $1 bread, eating cheap in man. So I don't know. Those are some of the songs. Then we had, of course, the Queen of the Tent, as it was called her. She is the one and only Empress Lyrics. And she rendered a song this year. Last year she brought us No Fat Pork Tree. This year she rendered Cat's Can. And that was one of the highlights of the tent and such. People ask me, what am I singing, etc. By the way, I had a song this morning where somebody was touching me. And they in the song. And they were boasting of having taken off the bald man pants. So if it's me, I have no recollection of that. So I'd have to ask them to explain what they mean in this song that they took off the bald man pants. So that's a whole different story for a different time. All right? So the Proud Sound Calypso tent will be launching this coming Sunday down at Spratnet. And they have a whole slew of Calypsonians. Somebody called me on 2 days ago, asked me if I wrote a particular song called In Due Time. I said, no. They say, it sounds like you. Sounds like your music. I haven't even heard the song. But describing that composition to moi, I have nothing to do with it. I haven't even heard it. But the person said they would have played at least 3 times in a short speech on, it was ZZ. So undoubtedly, it will lend some excitement to the tent. There was an attempt to live stream the Legends tent. That was a discussion we had, but it didn't quite come out, So the trumpeter was concerned that people in the diaspora wanted to hear what was happening, so he was trying to put that in place. So perhaps for the next offering of the tent, we will have thing. We have a call, is it? Okay, so the lines are open for your input, your comments, your contribution. We want to call it Good News Friday. It's 662-0989-762, and we have a call as we speak. Good day, caller. You live on Voices.
Good morning, the King.
Good morning, sir. How about thou? And I apologize again because I call everybody sir, and some people take umbrage. So, good morning, Mr. Journey.
Yes.
Let's go, okay?
All right.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Mic is yours.
No, yeah. You're talking about good news.
Yes.
All right. Well, you know me. My good news is global. The King.
Sir.
And let me say good morning to the listening audience. My good news is this morning I am happy and I want to lend my support to South African Foreign Minister, politician Nadia Pandor, who is asking the ICC to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu.
Mm-hmm.
I want to lend my support to that call. And also to Anthony Blinken, because we have to look very closely at what is at play here with this Israel and Palestine conflict that is going on over there. Now, Nadia Pandor told the ICC that she is asking for that court to arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. I want to second that. And I also want to ask that people like Anthony Blinken and this other one, her name is escaping me right now, but I did mention her
Haley?
name before. The one who also instigate the war in Ukraine.
Oh, I know him. In.
Yes, her name is escaping me. You see, these people operate behind the scenes, right? And they are lending support to Israel while genocide are being taken place, and they act like they're innocent. We have to let them know what we know, and it is not okay. It is not right. You see, we have grown to accept that their theology, their narrative, their agenda is appropriate for the world. They can take lives, and they put their spin by giving us scapegoats. Even in COVID, the King, the vaccine was a scapegoat for us. Many of us who took the vaccine. Because, you know, the increase of deaths that we have seen since COVID, no one has come onto the public and tell us, well, these deaths, do they have anything to do with the vaccine? They probably wouldn't, you know? But if you dig deep and if you look close, well, to each their own.
Yep.
But this is my thoughts this morning, the King. I mean, I know we are gearing up towards Carnival and, you know, everybody, like you said, it is good news. So let everyone speak what is good news for them. But this is
Well,
my
here's
good
what.
news.
Here's what. What you're reporting on is also good because you're giving exposure to some of the iniquities happening around the world, especially as it relates to that conflict. I also saw the presentation of the lady from South Africa, and I was very much impressed with it because she speaks truth to the hypocrisy of these European countries. Now, let's look at what drives the support of the U.S. towards the Jews. Most of the people at the head of those organizations in the U.S. are Jews. They're in the banking, they're in the legislature, they're in both houses, and they drive the agenda. So it's not like I don't want to say like the average person in the street. These guys have positioned themselves strategically in areas that controls the outcome. They control the news media.
Right. But you see, not only that, the King, and I like to look at these events that are taking place, right? And you've heard me said before, we are fulfilling scriptures because, as you just mentioned, the Jews, but look at it, America, Europe, and NATO, they are all one body. And as the scripture says, Satan does not go against Satan. Now let us go to Germany. The president of Germany has apologized in Tanzania for the atrocities that was committed. Now, he apologized, but that words are not enough, the king. Like I said, when Emmanuel Macron apologized, I have called that he let his words become his action. The king was in Kenya, and they rolled out red carpet. And listen to his rhetoric, the king. Sorry. No, he didn't say sorry. He said the atrocity that was committed should not have happened. He said it should. You see how careful he is with his words? But yet William Ruto, who I was in support of when he took the presidency and his stand, William Ruto, in my opinion, the king, is being used. And he hasn't realized it, or maybe he do realize it. But I like how Julius Malema in Kenya last week spoke out against him. He's asking, can we trust you? Because you say one thing and you're totally different in other areas.
In actions, okay.
I mean, the king, I'm going to pass for now, but I just want our people to look at these events that are going down because they know what is up. They know what is up, the king, and they're not going to hand over anything to us because I am not going to hand something to you, the king, that's going to make you more than me. And that's the area that we are at right now.
Okay.
Thank you for hearing me.
I want to thank you for the opening salvo. Thanks for your contribution. As ever, we have a lot to learn from that. I have a news item I want to read, and it reads, urgent water notice for residents of Saddlers in Newton Ground. The Water Service Department is advising residents in the areas captioned that due to extremely low water levels in the tanks, the water supply will be turned off at 6 p.m. Supply is estimated to be restored at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'm going to read that again. It's very important. Urgent water notice for residents of Saddlers to Newton Ground. The Water Service Department is advising residents in these areas captioned that due to extremely low water levels in the tanks, the water supply will be turned off at 6 p.m., that's this evening. Supply will be estimated to restored. Supply is estimated to be restored at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. The Water Service Department apologizes for any inconvenience caused by this interruption. And we go back to the phone lines. Go to the caller, you're live on Voices.
For total love and morning rising, the powers of the High Majesty.
I expect.
I listen, that's the first and her Royal Highness, the Zero Men of Aswa. How your morning going, Brother Socrates?
Wonderfully. Good to hear your voice also.
Give thanks for life. I'm still a mourn, but I'm thankful still in the powers of the Almighty. Just to outline how Johnny just conversating there, but I don't like to hear the word for them people who is criminal gangsters called as Jews. Let me give them the right name, they are Zionists.
Mm-hmm.
You see? Them is the people who really feel like the world is all about them alone, you know. So just to put that there on the table.
Context. Okay.
You see? Yeah, so blessed is this strength. Keep the program going good and everything in love. Yeah, and I would like to say to all the young ones, let us use our thinking mind instead of wasting our energy and violent action towards one another.
Positive.
We have to move away. We have to move away from that aspect now and start seeing where we can bring in the betterment of development for our future at hand. We can't waste the energy no more. Give thanks.
Thank you so very much for that. There's another aspect of our society where we tend to name certain blocks of people, label them, and, generalize. It is more or less finger pointing and passing the blame as to who's responsible for certain person's behavior as it relates to our younger people. We'll come back to that as we take this call. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices. Good morning, caller. You're live on Voices.
Socrates.
Lovely hearing your voice once again, sir. Welcome to the program.
Morning.
Morning to you, sir.
Morning. I'm morning to all the listeners. But okay, let me not jump to conclusion yet. But let me start like this. Maybe want to get one little one-on-one with you for a good while now, but
here's a chance.
Everything just come into play, and even last week, want to big up Colin Martin, the
Colin
former principal.
Morton,
yeah.
Morton Henry.
Me also big shape a lot during the conflict
With the school.
But me want to big shape more now because she was woman enough for company here. And it's amazing that the bashers them, none of them ever call in.
As a matter of fact, she mentioned that.
You see, this is the kind of hypocrisy that me not love. You come face to face with something, but now you're not calling now. You understand me? Anyway, let me go on. Let me move on. Me supposed to be a peacemaker. A peacemaker me supposed to be. But then, according to the three vices now behave for the morning, me in conflict with you because me not net on Hukana.
Really?
Really?
It's called voices. Let me hear you.
Just wait. No, me don't even go touch on. Me just tell you. Matter call from Win FM management again. So please put it on WhatsApp line because me not really go burn off no more money. Like this here, nothing.
In the cause.
Years and years make all down there. Right. So put in on WhatsApp line. Management put in on WhatsApp line. That me can correct a lot of things that take place on Win. Plenty misinformation gone up on Win FM. And he left up to the people and them out there now for do what. And Socrates, let me get to you now.
Go ahead.
All right. Me hear you say one day that Esau and Isaac, no, Esau and Jacob, the two parents, we want to give the blessing. So the father want to give the blessing to thing, and the mother want to give the blessing to thing. And you say that the wrong somebody get the blessing. You remember saying that?
Yes, in the context the way how it was presented. That the father was duped because he was blind, and the mother duped him, and camouflaged the other son and gave him. So
me know the story.
Okay.
But this are the part that me want to get. You said that the wrong somebody get the blessing.
Based on who it was supposed to be given to.
No, my friend. Socrates, and then you go on to say that you re-educate yourself from, and then you touch the King James users. You remember that?
Yes.
Well, me want the King James users. So that's why me come at you now. Right. Socrates, before me even get into that, let me give you one little stand up that you can understand what me say exactly when we get to the point.
Go right ahead.
He got this little youth, and he used to go this Sunday school. But then the class that the teacher, every time the teacher teach them, I give them one story. At the end of the story, he tell them, and the morals are, right? The essence. The essence is, right. So, the matter of the story itself, and the sense
the lesson
behind
learned
the
from
story.
it, yes, okay.
All right, good. So as he get older, he may have to go to our next class. So as he go to the next class, about 2 months pass and the mother noticed, well, he not say nothing. So it feels like he was excited and relate, but to our next class, no, he not say nothing. So what happened now? The next teacher, I give the same story, but at the end of the story, that's it. Class over. You get that?
I'm trying to follow you. I'm trying to follow
right.
The moral of your story.
The next teacher give the same stories, but to the end of it, class over. Let me leave it at that. Class over. So one the mother say, son, me not hear saying nothing at all about your new class. And you know, he said, oh, and he called the teacher name and he said, she's kind of good, but she have no morals.
Okay.
You get that?
I got you.
Right. Now, that's one of the message that send it. But because me explain them to you, you might pick them up. But if to the mother now could, I think, different now. You understand me say?
I'm following you, yes. So my listeners.
Good. All right. Here you know. Socrates, if you may know the laws, now Esau and Jacob time, you don't never say that the wrong somebody get the blessing. You get that?
I'm following
if
you.
You know the laws. You know what the laws may be?
Educate us.
At the time? Huh?
Educate us.
So that?
Educate us.
No. Me go educate you, but
okay.
You're going like when me about 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, and so. This is how we used to do up in a month shot. When me ask one question and you spin right back on me.
No. You're calling to correct me. The other listeners who may have the same.
Right.
So educate us.
If you mean know the laws or not.
I told you no. I
told
you no. I told you no.
Exactly. The elder is supposed to serve the younger. That made the laws. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you really follow the story, you recognize the right somebody get the blessing. Jacob, me love Esau because he a hunter. And he love meat. And so forth and so. The mother know me love Jacob because he a little homeboy and he used to love a little cooking and so inside. And, you know, he's the mother from the kitchen. You get that?
He was a favorite for the mother.
Right. But really and truly, the laws is a Jacob from God. Me really supposed to get the blessing. And here we go down now. Let me show you now the right somebody get the blessing. The real blessing come when Esau out chasing Jacob. I will cut long story short, right? When Esau out at thing. And remember when but this is the spirit world now, right? But he portrayed the physical world. That just so you understand. When Jacob grabbed the angel in his waist and the daylight may come. And he said, let me go. And he said, no, I won't let me go until you bless me. You remember the part there?
Yeah, the rest with the angel, yes.
That's the real blessing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, continue the story. The story is that Jacob and Esau reconcile. You remember the part there? When Jacob when Jacob returned now and Esau go kill him. So what he do now? He left back and he send X amount to animals and thing up front to see how Jacob will respond.
Receive them, okay.
But God me don't talk to Esau.
Soften his heart.
And then reconcile. So the war up there is not between no Jacob and Esau generation. You got that?
Okay. So what is all about right now? Quickly before you leave, what is the war all about right now?
The war is all about our spiritual, everything come together. This not the real thing. All way they see. Only just gathering to bring you to War Armageddon. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you know the Bible, you will recognize
the signs.
Where Putin sit right now. You ever hear about Gog and Magog?
Yep.
All right. Get back now the same King James that you want to re-educate yourself from, And get for norm first, Socrates. You can't re-educate yourself on something that you don't know. You have to norm first, and then when you norm, then when you hear other things now, then now you can differentiate between.
Yes, sir.
All right. Socrates, tell Win FM put in one. Tell Win FM let them
Management.
put in one,
Management, one of the most ardent callers asking for you to put in a WhatsApp line. So callers like himself can make the contribution at no cost to them because he actually calls it from overseas, so there's a cost to that.
Yeah.
So please kindly, yes, sir.
Me got a lot to
say.
teach.
All right.
We got a lot to teach.
To teach.
We got a lot to teach.
Mm-hmm.
You can me say?
Well, I just told you to educate us, and you're saying no. So, with FM, please put in that WhatsApp line.
No. Socrates, me say no, me not educate. Me say no, pull that word upon me like me have to know if you mean no first. Right. Anyway, Socrates, how we touch base?
Thank you very much for your contribution. At this point, we do have to go downtown and give Caesar his due. We will be right back.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
Let TDC Financial Services help you go for your goals. Whether you're thinking of taking that grand vacation, down payment on a house, higher education, TDC Financial Services has various plans that will allow you to go for your goals. Choose from the Accumulator Plus, Investment Starter Plan, and Fixed Deposit. Ready to go for your goals? Visit us at TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Welcome back to the Voices as we go straight to the phone lines. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Quickly, the King.
Yes, sir.
Now, good morning, Montserrat. The dialogue between you and Montserrat just now, Montserrat failed to mention that in as much as the story as we read and to our understanding, Montserrat failed to mention that Jacob refused to Rachel at the time not to do what Rachel wanted to do. He said, "How can I do this?" And the mother said, "Let this thing be upon me." Jacob refused it. Now, he mentioned what was the law at the time. That wasn't the law. The writers who wrote this put that in the book. The law was the firstborn always get the inheritance. The king, you're in a home with your wife and children, and they're abiding by your rules. And when it comes time for you to leave this scene, you leave the inheritance to the firstborn. That was the law. Now, this story all that is written in this book was written by man. Let me repeat this, the king. All that is written was written by man. Now, what it says, that the deity in the book that we gravitate to says, I create light and I create darkness. I create good and I create evil. Now, the king, I'm going to ask you this question. According to cosmology and ecology, the laws of nature is set, and nature is our greatest teacher. The deity in the book that creates good and evil, light and darkness, does that sound like the creator of life, the king?
But I'm listening because I have a question to
life,
ask you.
Sorry?
Go ahead, finish what you say. I have a question to ask you at the end of it.
The creator of life is life eternal, life everlasting. So to put a deity in a book and say, this is God, remember, take into account, right, when the cradle of civilization began, whether you want to say in Africa, at the Garden of Eden, the linguistic was not English. So therefore, you and my ancestor never relate to a deity by the name of God because the linguistic was not English. However, in all that we know about God came from the mind of a man and a woman, divine feminine, divine masculine. Whether you want to say the cells, which refer to X chromosome and Y chromosome. We are talking about intelligent energies in divine feminine, divine masculine. And I'm saying to you this again, the king. The linguistic that was spoken was not English. No, the book that we're referring to was translated in, I think was 1116 or 1611, somewhere around there. I might have turned it around. Then, looking at the way those who translate this book in the King James Version, let us look at their footprints. What they did. Now, who goes to that extreme to create a theology through genocide, atrocity, and you and my ancestors, the king? Are you following me?
I'm following you.
Now, Socrates is talking about the story between the two brothers. Well, let me go a little earlier before the two brothers. He mentioned what Esau was, who Esau was, and who Jacob were. Cain and Abel. Genesis 1, I bless you, I create you male and female in my image and likeness, and bless you, and I give you herb for meat. Cain and Abel offer up their offering. Cain offer back herb for meat, and Abel. And you know the story. That was the takeaway from us to maintain our connectivity with nature, from eating herb for meat, and they tell us the deity, the offering of Abel went up to him as a sweet-smelling savor. What Abel did, Abel had to slew a living thing, whether it was a goat, a sheep, a lamb, whatever. He killed it. He shed blood. And then later on in the book, they tell us there is no remission of sin by the slaying of blood. So this deity in the book is a deity of blood, not the creator of life. Because he says further down in the book, I am not the God of the dead, but of the living. Life everlasting, life eternal. The king, the whole thing is so twisted up, right? And like one of your callers say, the onion has so many layers, but we have to look deep because the rabbit hole is not a surface thing. You have a question to ask me?
Yes, you mentioned that the firstborn was the one who would get the inheritance. How is that different to what Montserrat would have said about the elder receiving?
That was the law. Montserrat said that was the law. That was not the law. The writers, remember again, the book says, whosoever add or take it away from my word, and let him be accursed. The king.
I'm listening. I'm still trying to follow you because he said that the right person got the inheritance, being the elder, and the inheritance was always passed on to the eldest, the firstborn. You acknowledge that, so I'm asking, how is it different to what he said?
Esau was the firstborn and Jacob was the second. Mm-hmm. That's the way the story. But he's saying that the right one gets the blessing, not according to how the story was.
Okay, got you now.
No. Oh, gosh, I forgot my point I was about to make.
Sorry, what else?
Anyway, the thing is, right, the king, remember, there are inconsistency in this book. There are those who used to say, and I used to follow when they were saying, that it contradicts. Well, it doesn't really contradict itself. Mind you, I'm not saying to trash the book, The King, because there are principles in the book, but there are inconsistency. Because if you're going to take God that kill, and yet it said, thou shalt not kill, but then who you seen is killed? Who killed? Man. Man creates the acts of genocide because none of us can see the spirit. The spirit is energy. You cannot see it with the natural eye, but all of us possess that ability. It's either you're going to go to the one that is of death or the one that is of life. But then the deity in the book itself is loaded with blood on his hand. The question you need to ask yourself, is this the creator of life? Because many quotes and texts are in the book. I am not the God of the dead, but of the living. Let the dead bury the dead. The God, the creator, is the creator of life. Life eternal, life everlasting. They even tell us that there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. Well, what is happening today? Are we here going to perish on this planet Earth, and there's going to be a new one coming down? The earth is cleaning itself of that wickedness that was under the age of Pisces. We are in the age of Aquarius, the king, enlightenment. You and my DNA is reactivated now. The days of believing has gone. We are in the era of knowing. Your reality, your inner consciousness is what's going to save you from this misery.
Okay.
And the only how I'm going to finish now. The only how we're going to do that is when we unite, because the enemy is who divided us. Are you following me?
I'm following you.
If you know who that enemy is, because the enemy is walking in flesh. The enemy that divided us and gave us colonialism, that's the enemy, and we worship in it. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you once again for your contribution. And I know Monstrat should be scratching his head. He may call back with a response, but that's all. I feel sometimes I am being versed in theology. I'm not that versed in the Bible, be the first to admit it. But from the little I know there are questions that has to be addressed. And I made a statement about re-educating myself as it relates to that. And many, many texts have been told from the Bible. So Monstrat, I'm not discounting, but I'm saying the questions that one has to ask, if one has to just believe by blind faith, I am sorry, but there's some things that I need to know, and so I question certain things. Okay? We go back to the phone lines. Caller, live on Voices. Go to caller, live on Voices.
Hey, good morning. I see you in church. Evangelist Brett.
Oh, yes.
I wonder if he's aware that he is adding to the book.
Is he adding? They say you should not add or subtract.
Adding and he's subtracting. Because he say, if you add or subtract, you get cursed. So you got to watch the cursing. You got to watch it.
I'm still in church. Go right ahead.
By the way, didn't you say this morning you want good news?
Good news. Good news Friday.
The very good news gone.
Well, you bring yours. Must well call to correct me. So that's the that can be a good thing.
I'm not gonna engage in that kind of story. Because I said before, until I hear the whole African story, the Arabs did more than the rest.
The Trail of Blood.
Arabs are part of the
Trail of Bones.
colonizers.
Yep.
They have taken more Africans out of Africa, sent them all over. When I do my research, I say, wait, how come the Arabs and the Muslims out of the equation? How come?
Because we only focus on the Atlantic slave trade.
Hello?
Because they mainly focus on the Atlantic slave trade.
That's what I'm telling you. So that is not how you do analysis. You can't believe more than half who up until today
Still
doing what they're doing. And then, we're going to get together. So my good friend said, well, they don't consider themselves Africans here, including them. That is not good analysis. They're very active in destabilizing the other parts of Africa.
Quite so.
And this thing about who's supposed to go before the international court. Well, Putin is doing just what Israel is doing, Isn't that so?
Very same.
Yeah, but he's
But the
supporting
hypocrisy,
Putin.
the
He said,
hypocrisy
my good
shines
friend, he's
through.
supporting Putin.
No, what he said, he's supporting Netanyahu.
Yeah, but I have not. You must look. You see, that is half a story that beat us, you know. Putin is doing more, and everybody is ignoring. I'm not supporting any side, eh? But when I ask again, what was Hamas expecting to happen? It's a sensible question, you know. You go in India and you kill off. Then you're using people as a shield, because that is a fact. They've all been sending out children go trust to and big men, you know. They will continue fighting until one of them decides we're not going to wipe out the other. It's just a matter of time.
So
Israel said they're going to wipe them out, and they said they're going to wipe out Israel. How can you reason? Can there be any reason inside of that?
how do you view Nat Turner in that context? How do you view Nat Turner in that context?
What did Nat Turner say? You can wipe out all of them?
No, he led a rebellion against
he
the
didn't
plantation.
Let's
If
go
he
to
could
him.
have,
He
in his
didn't.
imagination, he thought he would be able, not the enormity of the impact of slavery. But you have a people under oppression for so many years. What is your reaction to be? And he was condemned by the establishment because he was a rebel, he was this, but what do you want
I
him to do?
understand that. Look in
Accept
Haiti.
servitude? Yes, you have to
Look at the
rebel.
Haiti story. Look at the Haiti story. The one who led the rebellion, Spear,
Which one?
is former master also.
Which one of them? Christoph?
Either two saying that one of them, you know the Haiti story.
Toussaint was put in chains. He was invited on a ship to be celebrated, put in chains and taken to France and died there.
No. But the man in table in my grave. But I mean serious. So when we can pass judgment, we got to be fair with judgment. And the Bible didn't say thing with blood. It said without. There is no remission without the shedding of blood.
Without the shedding of blood. So the sacrifice
Yeah.
is warranted? Is that what you're saying?
And while even the Esau and Jacob story, he give it away, you know, he give it away.
Who did? Abraham?
The elder one gave it away, you know, for food.
See, I'm not versed in all that.
Eh?
I'm not versed in all that. He gave it away for food?
Yeah. So he gave it away and the mother back it up. So, you know, I tell you, I said to a lot of us, we need to do more studying. Don't study now one side, your side. This is the problem when you got a lot of conspiracy theories. People go on one side and they research on that one side, and then they try to convince other people that it's how you go. It ain't so you do research. I don't listen to everybody.
Both sides? All the sides?
Eh?
All the sides.
My side, their side, other side, whether they make sense or not. I research. All right.
Tell him travel safely.
Anthony, you bring the tablet or you going to bring it tomorrow? Did that? Don't forget. All right, you understand what I'm saying? Sorry about that.
No, man, we don't want to hear a story.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, we're doing, so anybody who's support what we think that is the truth. It's a truth, girl. It is good to query and question. I appreciate that. But please, when you're coming, black people, whether they're Arab or Christian or traditional, they're Africans. And until we're able to handle it, we're climbing all over the Bible and we imagine or we pretend that the Quran don't exist. That is the Bible for the Bible main book, eh? That is the Bible for the Muslims.
Yep.
We don't pick a teeth. We don't.
What is
I mean,
it?
look at what's going on in Libya, different places. They're destabilizing all the countries that have thing. Oh, you know, we back in the military overthrow. If the military overthrow is designed or done for the benefit of the population and not of you, anybody with sense would back them. But when you don't know, oh, they're going to have election the next 5 years, they're not moving, They have the guns over the population, and we're looking to people for deliverance without even knowing them. All the youths are going to think. The youths too busy trying to get to Europe. So it seems as though they wanted the colonization more than the colonizers want them. You don't think so?
Not necessarily. What you see...
Putting their life at risk.
Yes, because in their desperation, they need livelihood and it's been offered there. So you have a change of regime. Okay, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't want to see
what about the Cameroonians who are here?
What is the story?
Lawyer, teacher, all kind of stories.
It doesn't mean we've had educated people who left St. Kitts.
That's what I mean. But
I recall the warners from Sandy Point had to leave St. Kitts out of self-respect.
Yeah, listen again. If you got to tell some of them the truth. If you really, if you know your country has a dire need of your skills and whatever, it calls for a sacrifice. Many persons have returned home. They didn't have to, you know.
Yes.
There's the need for the country.
On a scale is not the same in those countries. There are educated persons here who have gone overseas, got their degrees, and come back and couldn't find placement. They've gone again.
Stop saying that.
Yes, they do. They do have universities. I'm in agreement with you. But with all you educate, if you can't find placement, migration is the next option. It happens in St. Kitts.
It's mostly the urban areas, that thing, you know. Africa got so many millions living on the outskirts of town who need teachers.
It's too big and diverse to be that simple a solution.
Watch. We stop making excuses to them. Stop making excuses.
I'm not making excuses.
All I say, whenever you are talking, tell me about the Arabs.
I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that at all.
Quran. And how do we expect to have all of us get together when they don't want nobody else unless they only want
unless they conform.
People?
They have to conform.
All right then.
They have to conform. If not, you face a sword. So I have an issue with it also. Right?
Yeah. So until the conversation widens to the whole of Africa, you can't leave out North Africa and East Africa and then come
At the base of all this, Sister Henry, is religion. At the base of it is religion. Politics and religion.
Why you all don't talk about that religion?
With the Muslim faith?
Christianity has done a lot of wrong, but they have also done a lot of good. I don't hear that. A lot of the education also. It's done by...
Well, the persons who call are those who take the time out to make the contribution. The others who have information refuse to call.
I'm saying, if you are going to be so then talk about the whole of Africa.
So let persons like yourself call and be part of the debate.
But the debate continues.
Yes, it must continue. You
have
many sides.
Even the story with Haiti. Mm-hmm. When you look and see that Haitians have the country in that condition.
No, I'm not buying that.
Watch me, boy.
I am not buying that. I am not buying that.
How come the gangs ain't building up Haiti?
Here's what.
How come they're not interested in building it up?
Here's what. When the U.S. put 150 years embargo on Haiti, I understand that, but it's still happening today. It has its effect.
Yeah, but we're talking about the Haitians.
We speak about the corporations who are raping. We talk about the deforestation in the Amazon. What about in Africa?
It should motivate the people.
What about in Haiti?
Help themselves.
They're being destabilized.
So what are the gangs doing?
Protesting.
Oh, that's how they protest? So when they're going to start
it's a form of protest. Build with
when
what?
They're going to start to build,
anyway,
we
got to go.
America don't care how much they kill. You must be concerned about your own people.
It's never as cut and dry as you presented, Sister Henry.
Oh, really? They're protesting against
It's never as cut as dry. So to go just with the gangs.
We're wrongfully analyzing the story.
When Papa Doc had the Mongoose gang, right? The Mongoose gang. No, the Tuntumakut. The Mongoose gang was in Grenada. When he had the Tuntumakut, it was all about repressing the people, but he was an American-backed government.
But he was a black man.
He was an American black government, like many of those in Africa.
Much as that is true. The point is that he was a black Haitian.
Financed by whom? By France? By America?
It's time that we stop making excuses for black people here.
It's not making excuses. It
Anyway,
is not
let me
making
come
excuses.
And then I'm praying for black people everywhere.
Mm-hmm. But thank you.
Everywhere.
Thank you
I
for.
am praying
Go
that
ahead.
black people will get up, stop bemoan. Because we're not victims, you know. We're not victims. As you say, even the slave rebellion, so we're not victims. If they thought there was a victim, they would never have a rebellion. And they want rebellion against their own. All right, then.
Thank you once again for your contribution. We are at the time where we have to pause for the Winning Family's midday newscast, and we'll be right back after. Okay? Thank you so very much.
50,000?
50,000?
$50,000? Win big with TDC. Win up to $50,000 cash in the TDC Mega Rewards Mega Raffle. To enter, you must be a Mega Rewards member or sign up to TDC Mega Rewards Loyalty Program. Shop at our TDC retail stores or online at shoptdcgroup.com to receive one entry for every $250 spent. Draws take place from July to November. Win $10,000 every month with your entry rolled over so you can win, and win even more.
Yes, this is 50.
Terms and conditions apply.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put your Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. Give her a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum a for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
What has you so happy?
My home internet just got upgraded, and I didn't even have to pay for it.
What? Which network you have?
Flow. Now I can get the fastest fiber internet in St. Kitts and Nevis for the lowest price.
Fastest internet for the lowest price? What's the catch?
No catch, my friend. 100 megabits per second for just $135 a month. With Flow, you truly get the best internet experience around.
Switch to Flow for the fastest fiber internet at the lowest price. Visit a Flow store today. Conditions apply.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International, by land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
With over a century of perfection behind the Macusson name. A smooth blend with perfect balance and richness. It's no wonder Macusson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoy the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Macusson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
With the Win FM Midday News, I am Kevon Brown.
And I am Yulana Weeks.
Our top stories.
Climate risk, a highlight during ECCB at 40 Global Conference. Climate change remains a significant threat to ECCU economies.
St. Kitts Tourism Authority CEO on importance of World Travel Market 2023 for St. Kitts. Forces to Haiti delayed. Jamaica Prime Minister on absence at United Nations vote. Internationally, dozens of people have been killed, with hundreds of thousands displaced across Kenya and Somalia by torrential rains that have hit East Africa. Now the details.
We simply cannot ignore climate risk because it touches and concerns financial stability, said Timothy N.J. Antoine, Governor of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, during the opening ceremony of the ECCB at 40 Global Conference.
We are now at a stage that the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres termed an era of global boiling. Remember, it used to be warming, it's now boiling. According to NASA scientists, July 2023 was the hottest month on record, and 2023 is on pace to be the hottest year ever. On this track, our planet, now at 1.2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial, could exceed in some years 1.5 degrees Celsius before 2030. In the Caribbean, the frequency of natural disasters, according to an IMF 2018 study, is 7 times higher than anywhere else in the world. And the losses from those disasters are 6 times higher than the global average. Moreover, on an annual basis, our countries lose about 2.5% in GDP due to these seasonal events, weather events. Welcome to vulnerability and resilience. And then, of course, we experience these wipeout events, such as we saw in Grenada with Hurricane Ivan in 2004, 200% of GDP. And in Dominica in 2017, Hurricane Maria, 226% of GDP. Climate change poses an existential risk to our region, and therefore we must do everything in our power to preserve and have a livable planet.
Bankers gathered at the Sir Cecil Jacobs Auditorium at ECCB headquarters to deliberate on the theme Fit for the Times, Building Resilience and Embracing Innovation for Transformation. Governor Antoine highlighted 3 key areas during his presentation. 1. Climate risk is financial risk. 2. Digital innovation is essential for financial inclusion and resilience. And 3. Financial stability, financial inclusion and resilience require strong regional and international cooperation. For years, leaders of the region have been lobbying for climate funding. Governor Antoine said significant climate capital is required for adaptation and loss and damage, thus called on the international community to support the efforts of emerging economies and small island developing states to create green finance markets. Additionally, the region continues to grapple with other exogenous shocks, including supply chain issues, inflation, increased gas prices, and wars.
In the context of a world that is increasingly vulnerable to shocks, a shock-prone world as it is called, the criticality of regional and international cooperation and collective action cannot be overemphasized. Now more than ever, our world needs collective action to navigate the current polycrisis. The ECB has done it for the past 40 years and stands ready to cooperate with everyone as we navigate these challenging times.
Ellison Tommy Thompson, CEO of the St. Kitts Tourism Authority, talks to Travel News at World Travel Market 2023. He addressed why the market is essential for tourism-based economies, especially St. Kitts and Nevis.
Well, this is a great opportunity for us to connect with our existing operators and also to meet new tour operators, not only from the UK, but also from the European markets. And we've had some very successful meetings. So we think that St. Kitts and Nevis are going to be featured in some new upcoming programs.
That's great. And can you talk about anything that might be happening in the future?
Well, next week, St. Kitts and Nevis are actually on the road in the UK. We've got 2 media events and also 2 travel advisory events, one in Hampshire and one in Oxfordshire. And we want the travel advisors to know that we're on your side. We love you. We love your bookings. So we also have a travel booking reward for you. So you send the people to us and we're going to reward you for that.
That's great. And how have numbers been? And are you looking to expand into different market sectors?
Well, we just recently introduced non-stop service from JFK to St. Kitts with JetBlue. The inaugural was on Thursday, and I was very fortunate to be able to come down on it. So that's going to be 3 times a week and year-round. So that also gives convenient connections for those coming from Europe and the UK who go to New York for a visit. Now you can add a Caribbean destination like St. Kitts to your travel itinerary. So 3 flights a week, and it makes it really easy to come down for a long weekend and just make that trip that much more exciting.
Sounds great. And do you have a message for our viewers here at World Travel Market and beyond?
Come and visit us in St. Kitts. We're one of the lesser-known saints, but for the traveler who's looking to immerse themselves and venture deeper into a destination, that's what St. Kitts has to offer. We've got one of the only rainforests that's actually expanding. We still have our scenic railway tour around St. Kitts. And of course, the food and cuisine is absolutely marvelous. For those who like a little drinky, the rum in St. Kitts is actually spectacular. We also have a Petition Rum Master program where you can learn about the rums theoretically and practically, put together your own brew, come back with your own certificate, certifying you as a Petition Rum Master, and you can bring your plunk home with you as well.
Sold. And if people's interest is piqued, how can they reach you?
Very easy. Come to our website, visit stkitts.com. And of course, we've got packages with British Airways Holidays, and some of the major tour operators here in the UK. So it's really easy to get to us. British Airways twice weekly by Antigua. You just stay on the plane in Antigua, and then you're there an hour, and then 20 minutes later, you're in St. Kitts. One of the best kept secrets in the Caribbean, but we don't want it to be a secret much longer.
World Travel Market 2023 was held from November 6th to 8, 2023 in London, United Kingdom, and brought together the international leisure travel community. During World Travel Market 2023, education, sourcing, and benchmarking were areas of interest presented to travel professionals, with exhibitors being shown opportunities to do business and showcase services to the international press. In regional news, forces to Haiti delayed, Jamaica Prime Minister on absence at United Nations vote, and more from Carib Update.
Kenya's government said Thursday that its police officers will not be deployed to Haiti until all conditions on training and funding are met. Interior Minister Kithure Kindiki told Parliament's Department Committee on Administration and Internal Security that unless all resources are mobilized, troops will not leave the country.
We have agreed on a number of things. That first of all, the resources for this mission will be arranged or mobilized among the member states of the United Nations. And they have already identified the way the funds will be mobilized and how they will be made available for us. The only assurance that I want to give honorable chairs is that unless all resources are mobilized and availed, our troops will not leave the country. Not even one of them will leave Kenya.
He said UN member states are securing resources and have identified how funds will be mobilized and made available to Kenya for the mission. However, it was not immediately clear when the forces would be fully trained and funded to allow for deployment. Meanwhile, Haiti is reporting a fresh round of gang-related killings and kidnappings as it awaits help. On Wednesday, Haiti's Superior Court of Auditors and Administrative Disputes said 5 of its employees were kidnapped in the capital, Port-au-Prince, forcing the agency to temporarily postpone all hearings. About 3,000 migrants from Central America, Venezuela, Cuba, and Haiti have blocked traffic on one of Mexico's main southern highways to demand transit or exit visas to reach the U.S. border. The caravan of migrants set out on foot from the city of Tapachula near the Guatemala border on October 30, walking north toward the U.S. The contingent, including many women and children, later stopped walking at Huitztala, another town in the southern state of Chiapas, where they tried to get temporary travel documents to cross Mexico. Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness says consideration is being given to rectify Jamaica's missing UN General Assembly vote on a humanitarian truce in Gaza and a cessation of hostilities between Israel and Gaza's Hamas rulers. Holness says he would not want the missed vote to be a continued distraction from what the government intends to be its position. He explained at a press briefing Wednesday that the government's support for any participation, including drafting and delivering a statement on behalf of CARICOM, is suggestive of what would have been Jamaica's vote on the issue.
It is indeed, obviously, an unfortunate circumstance that we did not get to cast a vote, physically make the vote. But as you have said, everything that we have said and done, including delivering a statement on behalf of CARICOM and helping to craft and word and draft the statement, suggests that that would have been our vote. That someone would then seek to make an issue of it. I think it's an extreme in the position. So the consideration is being given, obviously, to see if that position can be rectified post the vote, because we would not want it to be a continued distraction from what we intend to be our position, which is quite clear that our position is we supported the humanitarian interventions for the Palestinian people.
Prime Minister Holness said there must be a pause in the war for humanitarian purposes.
I believe a humanitarian pause is necessary in Gaza. The images that are being broadcast all over the world, and my own research into the subject and the information that we receive, I have friends on both sides. Jamaica has a Palestinian community. I noted their peaceful protests earlier. Jamaica also has a Jewish community. We have been petitioned by both. Jamaica has voted many times in support of the Palestinian cause, and we have also voted in support of matters to do with Israel, because on both sides there are claims that could be justified. We don't want to see innocent people die, and that is our position.
The coalition government in the Cayman Islands is barely holding on to power tonight. On Thursday, controversial MP Makiva Bush quit the packed coalition, leaving Parliament deadlocked at 9-9 on the floor of the House and the government holding on to power by the slimmest of margins. The packed majority needed to pass any legislation, including the forthcoming budget, is now dependent on Speaker of the House, Catherine Ebanks-Wilkes, who will now have a deciding vote in Parliament. Bush said he no longer had faith in the direction of the government and was left with no choice but to resign. He has indicated he would be willing to support an alternate government. His resignation comes 6 weeks after former Labour Minister Dwayne Seymour quit the packed government. Earlier this year, Chris Saunders, who was the Deputy Premier and Finance Minister at the time, also left the coalition. Both departures shook the stability of the government made up of independent politicians. The White House Latin America advisor Juan Gonzalez says the Nicolas Maduro government in Venezuela has until the end of November to fulfill its pledge to allow any opponent, including opposition leader Maria Corina Machado, to compete in next year's presidential election. Otherwise, the Biden administration will reinstate the recently lifted sanctions. Speaking in an interview with Colombian TV station NTN24, Gonzalez said the Biden administration also expects the Caracas regime to free what it calls all political prisoners, as well as all American the U.S. said is jailed unjustly in the southern American country. The U.S. government says it has been waiting for Caracas to comply with the commitments it made in a series of negotiations held throughout the year with members of the Biden administration. The talks culminated in the signing last month in Barbados of an accord with opposition leaders to hold presidential elections next year. In exchange, the administration granted a 6-month general license temporarily authorizing U.S. transaction involving the oil and gas sector in Venezuela, and a second general license authorizing the operations of state-run Minervan, a previously sanctioned gold mining enterprise that had been trading in the black market. This is Primetime Caribbean.
We now bring you these international reports.
The aftermath of torrential rains that have hit northeastern Kenya in the last few days. Towns and villages are flooded. Scores of people have lost their homes. Many have moved to higher ground. The rain is still pounding, and they could soon be forced to move again. Floodwaters across the country have killed more than a dozen people.
This water has affected us. Our houses have been damaged. Our crops have been washed away. Our livestock is gone.
Scientists say climate change is causing more intense and frequent extreme weather. The region is coming out of its worst drought in 40 years. Thousands of people, livestock and wildlife have died during 4 failed rain seasons.
There is an urgent need for humanitarian support because there are displacement, there are areas which are cut off, and this is the rain that has rained all over the region.
People in neighboring Somalia have also died. About 300,000 are estimated to have fled their homes. Ethiopia and Uganda have recorded unusually heavy rains. Some experts say these are effects of the El Nino weather phenomenon created as seas warm, and people should brace themselves for more rain. Catherine Soy, Al Jazeera.
Britain's economy failed to grow in the July to September period, but avoided the start of a recession. That's according to official figures released on Friday. Gross domestic product saw 0% change in the third quarter. It was slightly better than the 0.1% fall predicted by analysts, which many thought would represent the start of a recession. One leading market expert said the economy is not weak enough to reduce core inflation and wage growth quickly. For that reason, they expect Britain's central bank won't be able to cut interest rates until late next year. The Bank of England said last week it expected zero economic growth in 2024, but it kept interest rates at a 15-year high as it tries to fight inflation more than 3 times its 2% target. In the 3 months to September, output in Britain's huge services sector fell by 0.1% according to official figures. It also showed industrial production was broadly flat and construction slightly grew. Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt said Friday high inflation was still the main drag on growth. The weak outlook puts pressure on Hunt to come up with pro-growth measures in a budget update due later this month.
In August, the most deadly wildfire in modern history tore through the town of Lahaina on the Hawaiian island of Maui. Its cause is still under investigation. Well, our reporter James Caton has been investigating why it was so hard to escape the town.
Lahaina was the gem of Maui in Hawaii. It's been near totally destroyed.
It's unfathomable, the reality of Lahaina burning.
Oh my God, it crossed.
Ui was one of many residents who tried to escape from Lahaina that day. She managed to get some of her neighbours into her car, but when they set off, the traffic was gridlocked.
And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, we're not moving fast enough. We got to get out of here. There's people back there, it's just...
How many cars behind you?
Hundreds.
Many people had to abandon their cars and enter the sea to survive.
Both sides, to the left and the right, are on fire.
The BBC has obtained police body cam footage that shows that even officers were exasperated with the traffic jams.
Why are the cars not moving?
There's stop traffic on both sides of the highway.
But why was the traffic so bad? We already knew that an emergency siren had not been activated, but a BBC investigation has found other mistakes on the ground that contributed to the chaos. The police blocked some roads because they believed down power lines were energised.
We want to make sure that you didn't go over a downed live power line.
But Hawaiian Electric has told the BBC that it told the police several times during the day that the power lines weren't energised. This is one recording of such a conversation given to the BBC by Hawaiian Electric.
Hi, Miko Police Department. Fire's asking if you guys can shut down all of the electric off of Lahaina Luna, above and below the bypass.
It's off right now.
It's all off.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, bye.
The police, however, told the BBC that the company did not give clear and definitive confirmation that the lines were de-energised. The result was police treating fallen lines as live and blocking roads. One witness, Travis Miller, showed the BBC his footage. He filmed the main road going north out of the town, blocked for hours by the police.
I knew, once I saw the roadblock, this is insane. People lost their lives that wouldn't have lost their lives.
Maui's mayor, Richard Bisson, concedes the town should have been better prepared.
Better preparation, right? I mean, that's what everybody is pointing to.
And who should take responsibility for that?
We all should take responsibility. Yeah, all of us, for sure.
Ui and the neighbours she took in her car survived. Some of her neighbours, though, weren't so lucky.
Some people go, "You're a hero for saving them." They would have been dead. And I'm like, I'm not a hero. Do you know how many people I passed, evidently? That I didn't know about, that I didn't check on? So many things that should have happened that didn't happen.
In the summer of 2021, Florentino Rios was working at SpaceX, Elon Musk's rocket company. Working about 25 feet off the ground, he signaled to the crane operator to stop moving, but his hand signal was missed. The operator tried to move a beam after it was fixed in place, causing a chain to snap and strike Rios in the face. Rios went to the hospital that night. Days later, doctors told him he had lost vision in the eye. He was now legally blind and could no longer drive or work construction. SpaceX, he says, should have equipped the team with walkie-talkies and better lighting at the site. Rios isn't the only seriously injured SpaceX worker. A Reuters investigation found the company has disregarded worker safety regulations and standard practices for years. Through government records and interviews, Reuters documented more than 600 injuries since 2014. Many were serious or disabling. They included lacerations, broken bones, crushed hands, and head injuries. 8 accidents led to amputations. 1 employee died in 2014. Lonnie LeBlanc died from a head injury after being blown off a trailer by a gust of wind at the SpaceX facility in McGregor, Texas. SpaceX did not respond to detailed questions from Reuters for this report. The company has defended its safety practices in responses to government inspections. It says it provides workers extensive safety training. Reuters spoke to 36 people with knowledge of SpaceX safety practices, including current or former employees. They say its high injury rates reflect a chaotic workplace. Undertrained and overtired staff routinely skipped basic safety procedures as they raced to meet Musk's aggressive deadlines for space missions.
Any predictions on when Starship might land on Mars without crew, maybe a crewed flight? Any prediction there? I think 3 or 4 years. 4 years.
SpaceX takes the stance that workers are responsible for protecting themselves. That's according to more than a dozen current and former employees, including a former senior executive. Musk himself could appear cavalier about safety on visits to company sites. 4 employees said the CEO, on his visits to a California rocket factory, sometimes played with a novelty flamethrower that shoots a thick flame 5 or 10 feet long. He also discouraged workers from wearing safety yellow because he hates bright colors. Since Musk co-founded the rocket company in 2002, SpaceX has achieved major breakthroughs, including becoming the first private company to send humans into orbit. It now employs about 13,000 people. The more than 600 SpaceX injuries that Reuters documented represent only a portion of the total case count. The U.S. Occupational Safety and Health Administration, known as OSHA, started requiring companies to report their total number of injuries annually in 2016. 6 major SpaceX facilities across the U.S. failed to submit reports for many of those years. Reuters reviewed OSHA violation records on SpaceX and found no agency sanctions for its data reporting failures. For violations it found following accidents, the agency levied only small fines. In one case, SpaceX paid a $7,000 OSHA fine for violations resulting in a worker's death. OSHA said it has recently heightened scrutiny on all companies, but the agency did not comment on its enforcement decisions regarding SpaceX. Jordan Barab is a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of OSHA.
Pushing workers to do dangerous work, regardless of their knowledge that the work is dangerous, essentially shows that this company is putting its profits ahead of worker safety and putting its profits ahead of worker health and workers' lives.
After losing his eyesight, Rios sued SpaceX. He alleged the company's negligence caused the injury by failing to implement or follow worker safety procedures. The company, in court records, argued that Rios' own negligence was to blame.
You are listening to the Midday News on WINNFM 98.9. The headlines?
Climate risk, a highlight during ECCB at 40 Global Conference. Climate change remains a significant threat to ECCU economies.
St. Kitts Tourism Authority CEO on importance of World Travel Market 2023 for St. Kitts. Forces to Haiti delayed. Jamaica Prime Minister on absence at United Nations vote. Internationally, dozens of people have been killed, with hundreds of thousands displaced across Kenya and Somalia by torrential rains that have hit East Africa. Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, KDP Enterprises, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib. It's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Shipping your cargo shouldn't be a hassle. It can be as easy as a single call to Amerijet International, your worldwide cargo transportation solution. We provide all the services you need to ship your goods anywhere in the world, whether your shipment is fresh, frozen, large or small, alive or hazardous. You can count on Amerijet to deliver it safe and sound. Amerijet International. By land, sea or air, we get it there. For more information, visit us online at www.amerijet.com or call us at KDP Enterprises at 466-9595.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Did you really think cybersecurity was just not for you? Think again. The threat is real, and everyone can fall. It's time to get ready and protect your business. At Cable and Wireless Business, we are the top local partner with global cybersecurity expertise. Cybercrime will not stop us. Visit stopthenextattack.com for more.
Lingering moisture and instability across the area will maintain periods of unsettled weather conditions today, with some improvements likely by late tonight into tomorrow. Today, partly cloudy with a 60% or moderate chance of passing showers. Tonight, partly cloudy with a 40% or moderate chance of passing showers. Sunset today will be at 5:37 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow at 6:13 a.m. That's your weather forecast for today, which came to the kind compliments of CW Business.
Did you really think cybersecurity was just not for you? Think again. The threat is real, and everyone can fall. It's time to get ready and protect your business. At Cable and Wireless Business, we are the top local partner with global cybersecurity expertise. Cybercrime will not stop us. Visit stopthenextattack.com for more.
Found the sound 98.9 Win FM.
Are you ready to turn transactions into treasures? It's time to unlock the triple transformation transaction treasures at Holtzman's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store St. Kitts. With every hire purchase, not only do you get quality furniture, but you also get triple cash back for free groceries. That's right, triple your saving, triple your transformation. Imagine a home beautifully furnished and a pantry stocked to the brim, all in one go. Our expert staff is standing by, ready to guide you to the pieces that will make your dream home a reality. Hospital Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store St. Kitts, where quality meets affordability. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Visit our showrooms today and start your journey from transactions to treasure. Hospital Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store St. Kitts, transforming home one transaction at a time. Visit us today and experience the triple transformation transaction treasures.
What do you know? It's 12:39. We are back into the second half of today's presentation of Voices. And guess what? The lines are already tingling. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Hi, good afternoon, the King.
We're Africa. Welcome to the program. How are you doing?
I'm getting thanks for life. And yourself?
Not too bad for no man. I have a bone or two to pick with you, but go ahead.
All right. Can I have permission to speak?
Most certainly so, with respect.
Okay, first things first, some housekeeping. I want to thank the proprietor for cleaning up the road to the Southeast Peninsula. I'm speaking about the owner of the restaurant in South Grape Chibatam. We're not familiar with that area much, but it is there. And the showers we got with Felipe and I think Tammy has worsened it. And there was a lot of gravels on the main road. I spoke about the Monday. I drove there the Monday, and lo and behold, the Tuesday when I drove back, it was all taken care of. So kudos to the proprietor and whosoever else has collaborated. Bearing in mind, you had a sit down with the authorities of tourism, and
the director herself.
They have noted it. Yes, they would have noted it. And also, I had raised the matter on the Island program with the traffic officers. The onus wasn't none of the two entities, but solely it was the responsibility of the proprietor, because they know where they did put the gravel to their entrance.
Yeah, and the rain.
They was aware of it.
Okay. That's
I
it?
wish to get to a matter at hand now.
Okay.
And it pertains to your profession. We welcome.
Okay. Here's what Africa. So before we go to the second part of what you called, I was confused yesterday and the day before when I drove on my way to Cockatoo Beach at the southeastern peninsula, and that overgrowth that we keep talking about was still in place. So I totally missed what that whole discussion was about. I thought that's what you meant when you told me it was addressed. You were referring to that one area there by the entrance for the grape thing there. But I'm talking about the drive along from the bottom of Timothy Hill all the way over. The overgrowth is still there and still a traffic hazard. So I thought that's what you were referring to.
Yeah. I ran across, he don't mind calling my name. He's an ardent caller, Leo. He's a taxi driver also.
Yes.
And he had raised it on your program. But
Correct.
I was not privy. I did not listen to the earlier part. But in the conversation yesterday, I recall when I made my contribution, you did say that Leo had, raised something.
Yes, and the director was here, said yes, it's been addressed.
I was given the authority because it's not their total responsibility, as Daniel said.
As she pointed out.
Over there.
And we appreciate that.
Collaborative effort.
We appreciate that. But my understanding,
with private and yes.
And based on what we discussed in driving there a couple of days ago, I was like, no. We were talking about two different things. All that overgrowth from the bottom of Timothy Hill heading easterly is there. From the bottom of the hill, all that overgrowth all the way over.
I'm going to tell you what. There is a machine, a guy that I know who have a machine that will really do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Because the manpower is going to be a little bit too much. The acacia tree, they're very strong. And, we with rudimentary tools, going there cutting with a cutlass or something like that.
I know a guy also. I know a guy who tended a bit.
Manpower would be needed, but for that arduous task there, you're going to need that machine to do a good, efficient job. Let me get to the matter at hand now that you raised.
Okay.
It's all dovetailing into the same thing. We have a concern, and we're going to get it right.
Okay.
Like William Ruto say, the president of Kenya, they are listening.
Okay.
Now, yesterday, we welcomed 3 cruise ships for the first time. We have gotten 3 ships, and we welcome that.
Maybe for the season?
Yes, we have gotten more before, but on any given day, there was 3 ships yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
On one given day, And, there was always going to be a challenge. In spite of the amount of taxi drivers that are part of the fraternities, there will always be a challenge. But I discovered yesterday for myself that we are our own demise. I went to the airport after I did a tour, put my number on the board, came down just after I did a tour. You know how that could be draining.
Yep.
Wanting some energy. Came, grab a quick lunch, back up the airport. I got to the airport. People is all over the place. We're working from the cruise ship. We're working from the hotel. We're working from the airport. That is our privilege. That is our space. That is our, that is our freedom.
Prerogative to work where you will. Yes.
Right. But I find that we want to put a noose around our neck and strangle us gradually. Because within your freedom to move the way you want to do, providing you have your tracker and you're tracking the flight and you have a pickup here and there. What is wrong with that? But there is a set of taxi guys who stand at the airport and think that everybody should stay there 5 and 6 and 7 hours playing domino with them. I beg to differ to that. So yesterday while going there, put down my number on the board, went grab a quick bite, come back up. Mind you, the king, my number is still there, you know.
Right.
Because there are 4 other taxi men in front of me.
Ahead of you, haven't left us
I
yet.
always take a picture of the board. Even down at the pier, I'll take a picture of the board when I put my number. 4 other taxi men still in front of me. It's not that I gone up there and my number gone and I'm arguing for a turn. Not only that, the king, visitors, there are 2 international flights in. And when I look around, that is always my concern with the challenge that we have. Are we going to run out of taxi? Because, I mean, someone will be coming back from the hotel. But, you know what I mean? The concern for our visitors and welcoming them and not having bad reviews that they came from such a distant land, having to take another flight to get to the flight, the connecting flight, and waking up 4 o'clock in the morning and coming here, still having to stand in line for a longer time because there are no taxis. So here with this guy, Ephraim, the moon, Myron Ephraim, is telling me that I lost my turn because I went out the airport. The audacity with this guy is telling me that. So I'm raising this issue now because it is wrong, it is wrong, it is wrong. Not only that, the king, people is coming out, our visitors is coming out, JetBlue on the ground, the American Airlines on the ground. You are telling me that is what we want to, how we want to welcome our guests? They're in Lincoln line to take a taxi, and there's no taxi on the airport? And if I'm there, I have seen when persons who their taxis, they might not have on the appropriate shirt, but the relevant authority would think it prudent to allow the person to get the job because you don't want to have the guests waiting too long to get to their respective destination, the hotel room. And I have no qualms with that. We are in the season now where it's going to be hectic. There's going to be scarcity of taxis sometime at the airport, maybe not so much at the seaport, maybe at the hotels. And we have to get this thing right.
What I can tell you.
Do it right. The objective is to welcome our guests and not have them frustrated waiting for no Lenka taxi.
What I can tell you.
Tell me that I missed my turn.
What I can tell you, sir, that a similar matter was reported to me about a driver who has other, he's got other pickups, etc. Because he can work online. His number was on the board. He left to get a job and come back. His number was not reached, and he was denied a job. That is wrong. Yesterday, the 3 presidents and other members of, the dispatching team agreed that there's a need to have a meeting to discuss these matters. So sometime early next week on a non-ship day, we will deal with that. That matter you just brought up will be also addressed. This has to stop. You cannot be fighting more against yourself.
One last thing. It is us,
I know.
It is us who is presenting ideas to the authorities, which is good. But they are not visionary ideas. Not all ideas are visionary ideas. Not all people who work in the bank are bankers. So therefore, we're bringing this raw and non-visionary idea that is trying to take us back to the days of slavery. I will never say anything to any taxi driver that will deprive them from a bread. The other day, something happened where the authorities send out the same number twice. You think I was going to go and tell them they'd send out the same number twice? They will discover it because you know what? There are others who will say, notice it also. But me, to deny the individual who probably was going to get a job?
I understand what you're saying.
Not me. It would not happen to me. Those days are gone for me. I am not bringing back the old colonial system, the crab in the barrel syndromes, and what we call quantum.
Sadly, there are many amongst us with the same mentality. They have to be identified and addressed in the matter so that they understand that they are undermining our own interests. Okay?
Here we are presenting ideas to the relevant authorities, which is good because the collaboration of them and us. But they're not visionary ideas. And the authorities really take them on. And Mr. Grant was right when he said that it's all you. Come to my office and report. You remember when Mr. Grant said that?
Not particular, but I understand the situation.
That is the authorities know that it's really come and said these things to ourselves. trying
Yes.
to curtail us, our movement.
And create
Kind of
whips
restrict our
to cut our own
movement. This
backsides.
is a flexible industry, and our flexibility, providing we reach on time for our obligations, it's all good.
Should be
I
honored.
just wanted to get that out of the way.
Well, thank you very much for that. But I was saying that sometime
Thanks
early
for
next
listening.
week we'll meet to address this and other matters
Yes,
relating
I have another
to.
issue, but some other time. If
Okay.
someone has a chance.
So in
I'm
terms of,
listening to the debate. I heard you earlier. I
Uh-huh.
heard the debate earlier, and I'm listening.
Oh,
If
okay.
something that directed to me, I will respond to that. If they don't, if not directed to me, when I come and I sit in on your program, I have matters to discuss.
Are you down at the circus?
Yes, now. But
What's
I'm going
the
back to airport.
atmosphere
I have
down?
Number 32.
What is the atmosphere down there like right now?
Good. Overcast, but the atmosphere is good.
Fantastic Friday, payday. In a few hours, the ladies from the
Yes, yes.
maybe downtown.
I'm
Keep it
going
live.
back to the airport. I have number 32. I have a tracker. I'm watching the flight, and I just got to be flexible. No one
Okay.
give me anything. I have
Okay.
to make bread for me and my children.
Much appreciated.
And others. The less fortunate, I will give something from time to time also.
Well, you give and you receive, so stay blessed. Right?
Right, thanks. You too.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
That was the first caller after the luncheon interlude, and not lunch in the midday break, and we appreciate that. By the way, the lady in the circus, I hope somebody tell her when I'm done on Friday. I go there for my roti. So let's take this call in the meantime. Chris Collins, that wasn't meant for you. Good day, caller, live on Voices.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you, sir. How about that?
Yes, I'm good.
Beautiful.
I think I may have asked you this question already. Why is it that, what is it about taxi drivers, the profession or whatever it is, that there always seems to be some kind of confusion?
You haven't had half of it.
Huh?
If you ask me, if you want me to answer the question to the best of my ability, I'll try. If it's not rhetorical.
No, I'd really like to know because, and it's not that it's just here. Eh?
Okay.
That's why I say, what is it about that particular profession? I mean, they have other business people, other entrepreneurs, and they don't seem to go through the same kinds of issues. What is it about?
Well, the nature of a business is different. The nature of a business is a hustle. You have to solicit. And whereas in some situations they respect the next person in line, in other situations it's all about meism. Example, in the circus, there used to be a telephone down there, and when the calls would come in, they would give to the next person in line. But then some independent drivers put in their own telephone, and so that created, okay, you can't answer this phone. It's all about the rivalry, who could make more on each given day. There was one taxi association, then it became two. And then there was the formation of the St. Kitts Taxi Cooperative. And there was a lot of pushback against that third entity. They didn't want any kind of cooperation. And that is to our demise. That is to our demise. You have many persons who join the industry.
All of those, I can see where you'd have lots of problems like any other business. But why am I asking, what seems not to be able to happen is that you all come together and decide on the best way forward. And government trying to regulate it doesn't seem to work either. It just seems to upset everybody. So that's why I'm asking, what is it, what something is missing, why you all can't come up with best practices and something that is fair for everybody?
You have a people, for the very large part, who do not understand the nature of the industry, and it becomes all about meism. When you have that, even at one point, members of the associations left it to work for the opposition, creating an elephant which now they can't control. Members of association working on their behalf went to work for the opposition and created monstrosities.
Wait, hold on a minute. What do you mean opposition? It's one profession, isn't it?
Let me give you some specifics. We, the St. Kitts Taxi Association, there were two, had contracts to handle all the transportation requirements of the, cantors, right? They had no vehicles. When the scenic train came here, they came and they said they did not come to get in the transportation business with the taxi drivers. But the two associations were then negotiating separately for the better terms. Okay? Certain person didn't want to work with certain associations. And so the other association went and took the lesser offerings and said, well, they call us, so we're going to go to work. They never saw the need to unify to on one price. They went and took the lesser. Okay? That association was used until the city got their own vehicle and then said they were not reliable. When you look at the shareholders in that company, it made sense. The rules that they put on the public who believed it. At the same time, the executive of the then associations did not come to the public and defend against that accusation. So the public bought that concept that taxi drivers weren't reliable. Since then, the other entity was able to get their own vehicles, which was not supposed to happen. But at the same time, taxi drivers, being members of their own associations, went to work for those companies because they saw it as getting more money. When you're undermining the associations of which you're a member and supposed to advocate on your behalf, so you no longer have that commonness of purpose. So whereas,
but the thing is, though, right? It's shall we say a free market in the sense that I could understand the company when you say it was not supposed to happen. The company wants the best for that particular company.
And we provided that level of service. We provided that. They had no transportation. We provided that. But a rules was perpetrated on the public, and they bought it.
Oh, wait just a minute. On the public?
Yes.
Where does the public come into this?
Public opinion. If you go on the radio and you campaign, that taxi drivers were not reliable.
How would that affect your business?
It would affect the public with the perception that you were not. And the public came out and supported them. Those entities, yes, taxi drivers are not reliable. And so you find people just coming into the industry now. They have no allegiance to the association. It's a free for all. I work for myself. I charge what I want. The rates around the island is $25 per person. You're taking people for $15 plus drinks. Because you don't work for anybody. You work for yourself.
You work for yourself. So
it's my vehicle. You can't tell me what to do. So whereas the rates are...
Some may say, right?
Free enterprise?
Yes.
But you dilute the product.
As long as there are certain minimum standards that are upheld, like, for instance, it has to be in a safe vehicle. You have to, deportment and so on, customer service must be a certain level. Those kinds of things.
I understand that too.
I
appreciate...
You can't tell a man, how can you tell a man how much he should charge for his service?
You got a point. You've got a point. But then...
I mean, obviously, though, the standards have to be at a certain level. Otherwise, the whole country suffers.
We've had people who've come here.
Regulation and government should step in and licensing and those things, right? But there always seems to be some kind of confusion. I'm not saying that it's easy to work out, but, after all this time, I mean, we can no longer claim that we're new in the industry because it has been around for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And so you think by now those things would have been ironed out. One of the unfortunate things I think that has happened after getting to marquee status, I think it's $1 million, million
person
passenger mark.
Yep.
Right. That we have gotten below that.
200,000 less?
I hope that we try to get back up to that level ASAP. Okay? And part of doing that, I would think, is the taxi drivers,
Well, when it's convenient.
Not just the marketing and so on to get the ships here. I mean, I assume that the taxi drivers play a huge role in that. And so that definitely needs to be...
The visitor experience is normally met and surpassed. We exceed the expectation. That's from the reports that we get. You speak to 9 out of 10 passengers, they marvel at St. Kitts, the reception, the tours, etc. Still, we can improve on that.
Yeah.
There are lots of areas. But one of the things that affect operations at the port, people in general see 3-4 ships in port. It looks very lucrative during the high season. They're encouraged to invest. You take a mortgage on a vehicle, you come to the port and you find Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you're not making any money, it's too competitive. So Wednesday now, you start to drop the price. And it becomes a free for all.
No, but isn't there some kind of first come, first serve system?
There's a structure. There's a structure where you put your name in a rotation on the board so the next person gets the next job.
Everybody get a piece of the
That's
action,
at the arrival hall section, which is organized at the back, or where, by the ships. Those to the front, even though their numbers are on the board at the back, they fish to the front. They fish to the front. And they do very well. But they're the ones who would merely cut a deal, right?
Yeah.
And the deal is he's charging 15, I'll take it for 12. No, I'll take it for 10. And that happens.
Yeah.
So you don't have a uniformity of purpose and understanding as to what the industry, how it should be run.
It's too cutthroat, man. It's
there is part of the problem.
Yeah.
And so when these companies are offering you, come and work for us, the fare from downtown to Reggae Beach is $10 per person. I'll pay you $4, but I'll give you volume. And so that works for them because you go there 2-3 days, you don't make any money. They're going with volume. They're going for less, but with volume. So you've undermined your own organization to go to work for the competition. That's what it meant.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it reaches a point where it doesn't have to be cutthroat because we get so many ships that everybody can eat.
Not so many ships. No, don't go there. Don't go there.
Why not?
The minister said, to paraphrase her, that the season won't be as vibrant as before. Coming off COVID, it was very challenging. So we have 3 ships down there. I would challenge you or anybody to come down there and see for yourself what's happening. And you get a better understanding. I did that some years ago.
Being filled?
Even if they come to full capacity, please, do me a favor. Come down there tomorrow and see for yourself so you can better understand and report to the public what's happening there. I can tell you, but unless you're there to see for yourself, you won't get
but you can tell me, what's happening? People not coming off the ships? What?
The volume of the pre-booking has gone up. The pre-booking on the ships has gone up tremendously. So it's what's left over we're left to fight for. The question is, why haven't we organized? We've been given opportunity, and I must admit we haven't taken full advantage of it, given the time frame that we had to prepare for this season. But we have to do that. If not, we remain fighting for the scraps. It took me, and I'll be honest, and anybody can check the records. It took me about a week from the first ship calling. It was on Sunday I dispatched. It took Sylvester Socrates Hodge a week to make $40. On that day, I put in $150 in diesel. That's easy. I made 40 US. And try to figure out how that's possible. So come down and see for yourself. And you'll see it's not as lucrative.
Definitely challenges. But that's why I say you should try to get back up to market status as quickly as possible so that,
based on the figures, we'll be getting 200,000 less. And the questions are how come Antigua, Simon, and Grenada is increasing their numbers? That's above my...
That's the other question.
There you go.
That's the other question. You see them with the numbers of ships, the ship numbers that they have, and you wonder, well...
Increasing the numbers.
You realize Antigua seems to be pushing the home porting thing.
Because at one point we were ahead of Antigua.
I saw something there which shows the shuttling from the airport to the hotel and the ship that the taxi drivers are pleased about. Those are fresh opportunities, and I don't know why we couldn't push that.
At the same time, We're hearing that one of the hotels from the southeastern end is now offering a shuttle service from the airport. How can this be?
Oh.
With taxi drivers, they're waiting for the jobs. Do you want to introduce a shuttle service?
Not taxi drivers?
Their vehicles, whether they engage taxi drivers or not. But you have taxi drivers in the queue waiting on the next. You should not be allowed to introduce a shuttle service. But you're emboldened because the taxi fraternity seems weak. The information came to me and said we have to address this. There's a vehicle from Nevis. Now, we cannot go to Nevis and work as taxi drivers.
You can't?
We can't.
I mean, you can.
Yeah, with the
What
St.
kind of
Kitts,
nonsense is that?
St. Kitts Tourism
One
Authority,
country?
St. Kitts Tourism Authority, you have the Nevis have their own entity. So I can't go to Four Seasons and work. I cannot.
No, that don't
I'm
make
telling
sense.
you.
Not visit one country. How you all allow that?
Sunlink.
You want to tell me that I can't go to Nevis to work?
Sunlink has contracts
And
on
vice
Nevis.
versa?
And they engage a certain what they call safari to go and do the tours over there because back then, at the time, Nevis didn't have. And they pushed back against it. But Sunlink offered a contract for the available vehicles, and we went. And they pushed back against it. But there's a taxi now from Nevis operating
you
here.
From Sandy Point to carry people to Brimstone Hill.
All the many things that I don't know. But I'll let you know. Up to yesterday about a complaint that vehicle is on Port Zante. It doesn't have a decal. In order to work on Port Zante, you must be inspected by the tourism authority and given a decal. I mean, you can work on the port. But that vehicle was down there. So there's somebody pointed out and they take, cognizant of it, it's going to happen. People will infringe from time to time. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
But the shuttle from that hotel in the southeast to the airport and back is a bad idea and should not be allowed to happen. Just to give you a synopsis of some of the challenges.
There are definite challenges that you all have to work through.
But you can tell anybody,
it's not impossible to work through. It's just that, but everybody got to have the mindset to realize that, y'all got to cooperate, otherwise it's going to be bad for everybody.
Well, yesterday presented some problems, and the presidents have agreed with the other dispatchers to have an emergency meeting to address what can, mushroom into a much bigger problem. So we're trying to.
That would have been done before.
No. It's this thing presented yesterday, so we have to address it.
Just yesterday.
These particular set of problems, there has been ongoing. As a matter of fact, let me tell you, I've called for meetings before, and sometimes the officials are overseas. Right? And so we're hoping to meet a member by Monday and take a course of action from there. This is that important. We have to address it as early as possible.
Absolutely, yeah. And one last thing, the previous caller was saying about the peninsula, the overgrowth and so on. There are no poles, utility poles and so on there. There are not many obstructions along that stretch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why machinery can keep the place properly maintained.
There was one person.
Out of hand like this, of course, you're going to have problems. We did have the rains and so on. In my opinion.
We're talking last season. We're talking from last season. When was the last time you took a drive over there?
It was a few weeks ago.
In the vicinity of the Pavilion restaurant, how was that experience? That overgrowth? You have to drive in the middle of the road if you have oncoming traffic?
It should not even have reached there. That's what I'm saying. If it was maintained, it would have been...
On a regular basis?
No, it is one big problem to try to clean, to clean again.
But if you take from the foot of the Southeast Peninsula Drive, Dr. Kenneth Simmons Highway, going up there, you have to be careful because it's now over the barrier.
Yeah.
And according to the size of the vehicle, the height of it, like my truck, I've got to be mindful of the passengers in the back.
Yeah. It never should have gotten that way. I mean, as a matter of fact, long before the tourism season started, that should have been pruned and cut.
Correct.
In anticipation of the rainy season in the first place, because we know as soon as rain starts to fall, everything just shoots up.
I know someone with the adequate machinery to address that problem who was called and asked for quotation. He said he gave a quotation. They haven't gotten back to him. Haven't got back to him.
And so in the meantime, you have this.
We have this.
That's not good enough. There are these kinds of issues which, in a modern country, in a modern country, that really shouldn't happen. I look, one of the things down there, and in other places as well, the striping on the road, the reflectors, those kinds of things. It's like you always have to wait for some major project to maintain those things. And that has so much to do with the appearance of your country, the aesthetics of the country. Make it look well managed and so on. When you see signs leaning down and fading striping and so on, it gives the feel that you're in a third world country. Maybe we're still third world.
But here's what. Sometime last year, I toured a group, and there was this one particular person who was praising the government and doing a great job. He said, I can tell from the roads and the infrastructure, your money is being well spent. I was so very happy. I didn't have to tell him anything. He was telling me, based on what I'm seeing here, your money, the government is money is well spent, your roads, your infrastructure, this and that. And that was such a positive. But in some areas of the main, you find the negative.
Obviously, it's not the same in a lot of other countries, but we should maintain that standard. That's the problem. We don't we just let things slide just like that. It's the same thing when you're coming off the planes at the airport, and the first thing you see is this dilapidated old factory building. That's not a good first impression.
Okay.
Right? And we just stay there and look at it and just accept it. It becomes part of our site, so to speak. So, we get accustomed to it, and it just stays there. But for somebody, a visitor coming in,
that first impression
is bad.
Anyway, it's always a pleasure speaking with you because you ask the right questions, but have somebody on the line who's making noise you want to get in. So I appreciate that, Mr. All right? Okay. Karen Hodge, we're looking to get a call from the vice president of the St. Kitts Taxi Cooperative. She wants to get in. So let's see if we can get her in before we go to a commercial break. The lines are open. And we have a call on the line. Got a caller? You're live on Voices.
Socrates.
Speaking.
Good day.
Mm-hmm.
You want the taxi, somebody come in?
Yes, give a chance to come in, and you can call back after if you can, please.
Yeah,
Appreciate that.
Let the taxi somebody come in.
Okay. Young lady, if you can, please, 662-0989, 762-0989, 466-0989. And she was reminding me of certain things, so if she can present herself, that'll be great. She wrote, don't forget that we spoke to Samuel since last season. Yes, we did. We spoke to the Minister of relating to certain things, and we didn't get any results. And he said that he had a meeting with some owner and was not happy with the taxi drivers. Don't forget, we spoke last year with Samuel, the Minister Samuel Duggins, since last season. And he said that he had a meeting with some owner and they were not happy with the taxi drivers. This was in relation to the same road and the shrubbery and the overgrowth over there. We did have discussion with, okay, let's see now, we'll take this caller live, you on Voices.
This is Karen Hodge.
This is Karen Hodge. How about thou?
I'm fine.
Okay.
What about you?
Having a wonderful Friday. What can I say? Welcome to Voices. Let's hear what you have to say.
Thank you so much. Now, I heard the gentleman and he was talking about, maybe he think that we just started this thing now that the season has started. But what you did not remind him of is that last season, we actually had a meeting with Mr. Samuel Duggins concerning the same problem with the overgrown on the highway. When we spoke to him, I can remember him telling us, I don't know if you remember, that he's so glad that we brought up this subject because he had a meeting with the homeowners over there, and all I find that he was concerned about is that the homeowners were complaining that the taxi drivers, since the season started, the taxi drivers are messing up the road. There was no concern to me, this is just my opinion, that about what we were talking about in terms of the overgrown. Now, it's also plain right now that there was no concern because nothing has been done. Another thing, again, we spoke about amongst ourselves and in meetings that we having a problem when we have 4, 5 ships, 3 ships in harbor. There is only 3 beaches we could take these people to. We are asking that the authorities please look into creating another place. There's beaches around.
We discussed Major Bay. We discussed that as option.
Right. So if they could please, because as I said, they are listening. I know they are listening. The gentleman also spoke about the site coming in on the plane for the factory. We also spoke to Mr. Samuel Duggins about that last season. So we're not just talking, no. We've been talking, and nothing has been happening. The thing that I see that is happening for me is that tourism has come up with a slogan, venture deeper. And the only deeper that I see, and I'm going to say, the only deeper that I see that they're doing is to control taximan with minor things. They are putting minor restrictions like what you wear. Come and check your vehicle. They want you to come every morning to check your vehicle. We talk about, the gentleman think that seeing 3 ships mean that we're going to get jobs. From the season start, I could tell anybody, I don't think that 60 or 80 taximen has gotten jobs since the season started.
In the rotation.
Even the people out in the rotation. And even out in the pen, that we call it pen, because nothing is happening. They opened the second gate, not consulting the taxi fraternity. No, a lot of people did not know about it. One of the things, if you come off a vehicle, or you come off a plane or a ship or whatever exit, the closest exit is where you're going to want to go. A lot of people, in my opinion, they see the exit and they want to go and they say, oh, they want to go on the train. People are not honest. The gentleman also talk about taximen coming together. Not even the government is together. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you so very much. And on that note, we do have to go downtown and give credit to our sponsors, and we will be right back.
Here are your Horsford's Value Mart IGA specials.
Running November 2nd to November 15th.
The more you shop, the more you save.
In November, get double points on dairy and frozen items.
Now, our Value Club Blue Tag specials. Essential Everyday Mayonnaise, $17.99. Arm & Hammer Liquid Detergent, $34.99. IGA Margarine, $23.99. IGA and Essential Everyday Frozen Waffles, $10.99. Blue Bunny Ice Cream, $22.99. Pringles chips, just $9.99. And now, our very low weekly
value deals. Gatorade's $4.49. Dunkin' Cake Mixes, $6.99. Arm & Toothpaste, $14.99. Central's Vitamins, $44.99. Multi-Meal Bagged Cereals, $12.99. Minute Maid Punches, $8.99. Shop Smart, Shop Value Mart, and get double points for more rewards today.
Continuamos en el mes de noviembre con los puntos dobles y las recompensas. Sea listo y haga sus compras aquí en Value Mart.
Are you ready to inject a burst of life into your living space? Well, look no further. It's time to revamp, refresh, renew with Horsford's Building and Lever Centers. That's right. This weekend, dive headfirst into the opportunity to revamp, refresh, renew, revolutionize your space, and bask in an exclusive 25% reduction store-wide on selected items, from top-tier tools to exquisite building materials. We've got everything you need to turn your vision into a vibrant reality. And remember, Horsford's Building and Lever Centers are not just stores. They're your trusted partners in creating the home of your wildest dreams. Don't let this unbelievable offer slip through your fingers. So this weekend, swing by St. Kitts and Nevis' ultimate home improvement destinations and let's dive into action. Circle the dates and gear up to ignite a fresh spark of life this weekend with Horsford's Building and Lever Centers. Horsford's Building and Lever Centers, where dreams blossom into homes.
And we're back, but we go straight to the phone lines. Caller, you live on Voices.
Yes, Socrates, me recognize that I think, so me forget I chance to do
Much
anything,
appreciated,
right?
sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah, let me quickly, can me recognize about 20 past now.
Yes, it is.
Socrates,
Yes, sir.
before me go, make sure somebody shout up Sister Shari for me and Mr. Bacchus.
Sister Shari. You mean Sharon?
Sharon.
Okay.
Yeah, Sharon, yeah. But, you know, she did your name as Shari.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Socrates, let me get this here quickly over and done with. One. The moment you hear Jesus said, "Let the dead bury the dead," Socrates, come on. One dead can bury dead.
The spiritually dead will bury the dead. Physically dead.
So you should correct journey with that. Dead bury dead no mean one dead man they lie down bury the other one. So then and therefore, the moment you hear that a spiritual, the scripture said, "The word I give unto you are spirit and life." Right? So now, when you read all them physical stories, there we come back again, Socrates. The moral, the essence, our spiritual sense behind all.
He said God is a spirit, and those may worship him was in spirit and truth. So it's a spiritual bit.
Exactly. So then, let me even use that scripture there now. Let me even use the scripture there. No, not the scripture there. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. Right?
Concur.
You forgot faith. Right. If you deal with the Jacob and Esau story, you will only recognize, right, that God no me want no help. So what the mother they try to do, he only just bring out the scripture to show you that these trickeries, God no me want that. But through all these trickeries, he still perform what he me want to perform. Now, Cousin Henry come on the line there not too long ago. Cousin Henry, me vex with you. No. She said something right, but as one educator, remember she say that Esau celebrate right. You said to her, it's true, I never hear about that. And you see, here, cousin, don't know she truth. Yeah, but then she gone on. Which you know, as one educator, there we know. Me not supposed to call for all you for months down there. You know Christian people down there who know the Bible like me and even better than me. You can just try to say.
I got you.
Cousin Henry was right. He's coming from the hunting, and me hungry. Jacob me all time home as he said.
Okay, I remember now. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, Scott Henry should have done do this. He asked thing. Give me
a pottage.
Jacob said right. He said no. If you want me food, you have to give me your birthright. And he said, what is on birthright? Take me birthright, give me food. So then you see last him again. Even if I'm for he, you see sell him again. So let me get back now to the fair thing, and the capable. Watch me. Joe and David made the youngest of all the Jesse children of them. When Samuel come, go bless them. You know that Jesse not me bring in David, right? He bring in the big powerful sons and them, and when Samuel look on them, God said, no, me no want none of them there. He said, Jesse, you know, got no more other son. He said, yeah, but a little fella just out there, not the feel of mine. He said, look, bring it. By the time he come, God said, yes, Samuel, that's the one.
Okay.
He shut down the lion now, the lion heart. Because the same brothers, them now, me join the army now, and Goliath out there, I kick up. Every man scared now. David, go down now, go see what they do, and hear Goliath. And he said, no. I got this little circumstance Philistine here give trouble. No, let me go fight him as one little lad. You see the lion heart? Coming back now to Jacob and Esau. See? God see that Esau now be capable to take care. So even we go back now to what Journey say. And Journey may want, you know. The Bible says, if you are and you take away your sin, and if you don't know the scripture, please leave them alone. So let me even go back to our journey. Say. Me say that at the time the law was the elder served the younger. Journey come in and said, no. The father pass on to the next one. Okay. Let me even use journey. Let me even use journey now thing. Socrates, you older, me younger. The father pass on the inheritance to you.
Mm-hmm.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do? You just unless me abandon?
Nope.
You have to look after me, and you know how to take up the mantle and look after me. Right or wrong?
That's correct. You know the patriarch.
Exactly. So even if I use journey, it show you still that Jacob may go get him. But the point about it show you now that Esau is capable, and it show you now that Jacob may got the lion heart, and that are the one that God may watch and God bless.
Ultimately, he was supposed to get it.
Exactly.
He was earmarked for it.
And when you check the lineage, of Jesus, you will recognize that Jesus lining past you who? Jacob. Come, go, and he go right down to Judah.
David.
And then Judah now, and then he take the split. And when he make the split, and there where Judah now become, anybody remain a Judah when Jeroboam and I think make the split. He come now that there were now the name Jews come into play. So you could be an Israeli and a Jew. But you have to be one Israeli for being Jew. Because your lineage would have to come from Judah. Okay then.
Thank you very much for that.
Put in the WhatsApp for me, please.
Management, please put in the WhatsApp line so this gentleman can make his contribution. He has a lot to contribute. I'll tell you a while ago. Now, before I go to the roti, of which Chris Calling is salvinating, there's a lady I buy roti from every Friday when I leave the station. Chris, you have to come down today. It's really very scrumptious. Now, the reference that the second to last caller made about speaking with Minister Samuel Duggins was in relation to his being the Minister of Cooperative. Okay, let's take this caller. You got about 4 minutes. We lost a caller. Okay. In his capacity of being the Minister of Cooperative, we met with him because we with the St. Kitts Cooperative Society to try to get these stores on the go, the sugar factory, the areas we wanted addressing. That is why we met with him, not because he was involved in tourism per se, but we met with him as representative of the St. Kitts Cooperative Society, and he then being the Minister of Cooperatives. Just to clarify, those who may ask, well, why didn't we go to tourism? It was a different matter, still related, but he was the right person in his capacity as the Minister of Cooperatives. We are almost out of time. We've got about 30 seconds to go. So I want to thank all the folks who would have made this possible today, our sponsors. Thanks for the management of WINNFM. I'm pretty sure you would have heard the request from our friend in Montserrat to put in that WhatsApp line, and many others have also expressed that sentiment in the past. I want to wish you all and sundry the best of the rest of this beautiful Friday, 10th day of November. And party hardy. Enjoy a fantastic Friday. And hopefully we'll continue the chit-chat on Monday morning. It's been a pleasure. I'm out of here. Bye.
Riddle this, riddle that. Portsmouth's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store is again giving